guys, welcome back to the Late Firestarter channel. I'm glad you're here. Today we're going to talk about how being cheap can cost you a ton of money. I'm the Late Firestarter, which means FIRE is financial independence, retire early. And I'm a late Firestarter because instead of retiring at 40, I started my FIRE journey in my 40s. So, if you're getting a late start like me, follow along on my journey. Please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. We're growing a great community here. And go ahead and comment below. I would love just getting to know who you are, who's on this channel. I basically do two things to try to get to my retirement early financial independence. That is, I use rental income from cash flowing properties, and I use dividend income, passive income from dividend investments. Every Wednesday, I'm putting up a dividend report or a video about the dividend side of things. And every Saturday, I'm putting up a video about the real estate side of things. This is a real estate side Saturday video, and what I want to talk to you about is my experience, my mistakes in my out-of-state investing. I talked about out-of-state investing in another video. I can link it below. But I started out-of-state investing because I wanted to get better cash flowing properties. And so instead of paying $400,000 for a condo and renting it out for $2,000, which is 0.5% of the purchase price, I wanted to buy a place for $100,000 and rent it out for $2,000, which is 2% of the purchase price. And you can't do that in LA, but you can do that in certain areas. I went out to Cleveland, Ohio, is where I decided to invest. And I explain all those reasons in another video, but Cleveland had a 2% rent to purchase price going for me. I could get a duplex for $60,000 and rent each unit for $600, thus giving me $1,200 of rent on a $60,000 purchase price. I bought my first duplex out there actually for $51,000 through a reputable agent who overcharges a little bit, and he preys on out-of-state investors, but that's a whole nother video. But he didn't rip me off. Is a reputable agent. I went ahead and paid $51,000. Inherited tenants. There were tenants already in there. They're still in there 4 years later, so they've been paying rent, and I've been cash flowing on that property, and it's really been problem-free. However, my next property that I bought was when I ran into problems. When I bought that $51,000 property, I used a 30-year conventional loan. So I put down 25% because in investment properties, they usually require you 25%, which means I was borrowing less than $40,000. I was getting a loan for $38,000 maybe. And what the crazy thing is, to get that loan of $38,000, I had to spend $5,000 to $6,000 in loan origination fees, in title fees, in appraisals, in inspections, all these things that the bank requires to get the loan. All of a sudden, I'm paying more than 10% of my purchase price to get the loan. If I'm buying a $51,000 duplex, you know I'm cheap. And as a cheap guy, I didn't want to waste $5,000 to $6,000 on that property. Now, when I bought my condo out here in LA for $210,000 4 years ago, I'm happy to pay that $5,000, $6,000 because that is just a small portion of that purchase price. But when I'm buying something so cheap, saving 10%, saving $6,000 is huge. And so I really looked into ways I could do that. And what I found was I could get a personal loan for $35,000 from Discover Personal Loans at 6.99%. Now that sounds high, but if you do the math between simple interest versus amortized interest, and I can do a whole video on that some other time, the amount of interest I was paying over this 5-year loan was much less than the amount of interest I would be paying on a 30-year mortgage. So it was actually saving me money. But the main thing was, even the higher interest rate, when I did the math, the 6.99 versus say a 4.5 at the time for investment properties, even that spread, when I looked at if it was the exact same simple interest over 5 years at 4.5 versus 6.99, but the 4.5% loan cost me $4,000 more than the 6.99, which one would win? And guess what? The 6.99 won because the amount's so low. And so instead of paying loan origination costs and all these other things, I went ahead and got a personal loan and used some of my other reserve cash, and I bought my next duplex for $45,000. I bought it with renters already in there, and they were both paying $600 a month as well. So I was almost getting 3%. Everything seemed amazing until I decided to get a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, out on this duplex. So to get the HELOC, to get the line of credit, to get money out of this duplex, I needed to get it appraised. The appraisal came back at $27,000. According to this appraiser, I had overpaid by almost $20,000 for this property. Also, in the appraisal, I got pictures of some of the issues with the house that I'd never seen before. I bought this house from a distance. I relied on pictures, and I relied on reports and information, and I assumed that if people were paying $600 to live there, it was livable. Those assumptions were wrong. I overpaid for that house at least $20,000. Those people were living in unlivable conditions and eventually left, and I've had to put in another $50,000 to $60,000 to get this place in the condition it needs to be. Now, that did include a brand new roof, which was a $10,000 expense, but I'm almost $100,000 in on this property, this duplex, and I'm renting the downstairs for $750, and the upstairs is vacant. I need to rent it out. But assuming I get, let's say, $650, then all of a sudden I'm only making 1.4, 1.5% instead of the 2% that I was going for. So that I call my Frankenstein house, because no matter what I do, something else happens. No matter what I fix, something else comes up. I've had guys go in there and fix things, and then guys then run away and leave and disappear, and then other guys I have to hire to come in and fix it again, and then they run away and disappear. So I've had to pay 3 different people to finish the job. There's just been a lot of headaches with this house, but one of the reasons that I had to pay guys again and again is because I was looking for cheaper guys to do the work. I was already ripped off by this house, and I didn't want to waste more money, so I'm trying to get it into livable conditions as cheap as possible. And guess what? Being cheap cost me. Being cheap cost me so much with this particular duplex that I got a $27,000 duplex for $100,000. I was cheap and didn't want to pay the loan fees. I wanted to save $4,000. And I did. I saved $4,000. So I didn't get the appraisals. I didn't get the inspections. I just trusted the guy. And there's reasons why I trusted him. But I don't have time for that today. That'll be another video. Maybe next week. I'll explain how I got trapped in with this crook. But this is just about how being cheap cost me. So I saved $4,000 there. When I got the guys to fix my house, I saved maybe another $4,000 versus on quotes. And then when he left and ran away and I needed another guy, I saved maybe $2,000. So I maybe saved $10,000 to get this house. But that $10,000 savings cost me $50,000. I'm still down a lot of money. So if you look at it, after this whole house has been fixed up and property values have gone up a bit, I would be able to sell this duplex for maybe $80,000. So I got lucky because appreciation went up. But $80,000 when I'm in at least $100,000 means I'm down $20,000. I saved $10,000, but I'm down $20,000. So I think I lost in this one. So the point is, I was cheap in buying the place. I wanted to cut corners and save a dime. I was cheap in fixing the place. I wanted to cut corners and save a dime. I was cheap in fixing, save money. Let's just say this house has taught me some serious lessons. If I want to save $4,000 when buying a house, maybe I need to look at better houses. Maybe I need to buy more expensive houses. That's a whole nother issue of where you buy, what you buy, for what reasons, and your price points. At the end of the day, I will get my money back from this place, and that's the beauty of rentals. Even bad deals are good deals if you hold on to them. And that is the moral of this story, is don't be cheap. Be frugal. Don't be dumb. Don't get ripped off the other way, right? I can tell you how people have tried to rip me off the other way by overcharging me. But don't get ripped off by underpaying. So there's two ways you get ripped off. Being overcharged, which is what happened with the house, right? I was overcharged for the house, and then underpaying, which is what happened with the rehab, trying to find people who would do it cheaper. So those are the two main ways people get ripped off in life, but in real estate especially. And so the moral of the story is, don't get ripped off by being cheap. Don't try to save money to the extent of losing money. It's good to save money, but don't be stupid. I was stupid. I was stupid because I trusted people I shouldn't have trusted. I'm a very trusting guy, and that's worked against me here. Like I said, that is a much more involved story. I will get into that story in another video of how I trusted the wrong people and how you can avoid to do that as well. Thanks for watching once again. If you like this video or if you think this is great advice, please hit that like button. Also, please subscribe. Comment below. Tell me what an idiot I am for overpaying. Tell me your story of getting ripped off or being cheap. Or tell me your tips and tricks to avoid getting ripped off. Let's make this a great community and help each other out. Have a great day and be safe.